Hey guys, what's up? And welcome back to a brand new video. And today I'm coming at you with episode 4 of building Coruscant in Lego. Now, today we got a fun episode for you guys as we're going to go ahead and pretty much complete the second floor and then also start on the third floor of building. So super exciting. And then we're also going to go ahead and talk about really some of the vehicles that will be going in the mock. So a really fun episode, and let's go ahead and jump right into it. So let's go ahead and start off with a couple of hauls relating to some of the vehicles that will be in this mock. Now, if you've seen the Star Wars The Clone Wars TV show, you know one of the main recurring Coruscant vehicles you see is the Coruscant Police Gunship. And I had to include it in the mock. Now, I sadly don't own the set, so I did have to go ahead and pick a couple of them up. Now, here we have the first one, and this was actually briefly seen in the last episode as well. So we got one of the Coruscant Police Gunship. This one, I believe, cost me about $75 shipped, which was quite a steal, especially since without figures and used condition, it goes for over $100. So that was big. So we got one here. Then I also ended up actually finding the next day, both of these were in Mercari, a second listing for a Coruscant Police Gunship. This one was about 90% complete. It was about $90 shipped. But again, the big thing about it was this. So here's again, I haven't built it. It's mostly complete. It's kind of missing the black fin pieces on top, I think. And then it's also missing some of the back portion. But other than that, it's mostly complete. So again, as you can see here, the main body, all the stickers are there. And what was big here was this. So I'll put this down. For used condition complete, it goes easily for $150 to $200. So getting it for $90 used and mostly complete was a steal, especially because of the fact that we have 3 minifigures here. We got, of course, the Shock Trooper. So they're only included one in this set. And then, of course, Anakin and Ahsoka with their lightsabers. So really cool figures here. I didn't have this Ahsoka before. And actually, funny thing is, if you were to add the value of these 3 figures alone, that would come out to be about $90. So the minifigures on its own kind of pay for the $90 value that I purchased this for. That was an absolute steal. Just thought I'd point that out there. So now I have 2 Coruscant Police Gunships. Will I be including 2 in the mock? Not sure. But I'll definitely be including 1 here, probably on the landing pad, and 1 kind of hovering about. It's going to be really exciting. And again, the highlight was, of course, this Ahsoka minifigure, which I did not have, so I'll be including her kind of at the sewage pipe, you know, what you see with the Ahsoka on the Run episodes. And then now I have 2 Coruscant Shock Troopers, so that's really exciting. But anyways, now let's go ahead and jump into it and continue working on the second floor. And we're continuing here working on the second floor. A couple of big changes since the last update. For one, we of course got the Spider Arms Hostel pretty much complete, and we'll take a look at that in a second. But first, I wanted to show you this railing design. Overall, again, this was the old railing design right over here, where I just kind of had these groove bricks and then 1x3 bricks, and then on top, ended up just using some like poles and then the lights. I ended up actually seeing this really cool mock on Instagram by Bill's Bricks of kind of a Coruscant vignette. And in that, he used this very cool design for a railing where he kind of used these kind of curved pieces in between each of just the regular bricks. And I actually really liked how that was, so I did end up kind of using a design pretty inspired by his. So again, full credit to Bill's Bricks on Instagram. I'll have a link in the description below. He has a really cool railing design, and I just had to kind of use something similar to it. So here is what I've come up with. Basically, I did, again, use the curved bricks, and then we have in the middle of those, I kept the masonry bricks from the other design, and then the lights on every other kind of curved section. And it looks really nice. And then actually what I'll do last is kind of use this really cool curved piece right over here, kind of in between the curved bricks, so they will be going kind of on these 1x4 brick sections all across. And again, that was something Bill's Bricks also did use in his kind of railing design. So again, really awesome railing design for sure. Full credit to him. Definitely check out his Instagram below. But again, this railing design I definitely think will kind of make it actually, you know, pop out a bit more. I actually really think this looks closer to what you would see in terms of railing designs in Coruscant. Now I'll actually go ahead and finish the railing design, and then we'll go ahead and jump into the Spider Arms Hostel building. And I've gone ahead and finished the railing section. It goes all the way to the end towards the elevators. Now, I don't really have many of these curved bricks here, which I use kind of in between the railing sections. I've gone ahead and placed a order, so those will be here by next segment. But the railing looks quite nice, having those curved bricks that kind of jet out by one brick actually does make the railing pop out a bit more, look quite nice. And again, there is lights on every other kind of section of the railing. Next off, we're going to go ahead and actually start work on the next building next to the Spider Arms Hostel. At this point, that'll probably be the warehouse where either Fives dies or the one where Trace and Rafa are from season 7. And then once we're done with that, I'll go ahead and actually show you both of the buildings together. And then I thought I'd just quickly show you, I did end up starting work on the elevator a bit, kind of raising it towards the up to the second floor. That looks quite nice. Again, we'll jump into that as well once it is complete. And then finally, we do got a haul in here. Some more brick here, mostly just 1x4 brick, just 1x3 and 1x4 brick, gray brick, light bluish gray, dark bluish gray, just to continue the buildings. And then we got some kind of nice texture pieces with some ropes, some of these pipes, the exhaust vents. And then the other big thing is we got some tiles here, so that's going to be used to tile off the kind of walkway. So there'll really be no stud showing on the base. Everything will be tiled or kind of have greebling on it. We're going to use the tiling to tile the walkway, which goes all the way around. Now, I'm going to go ahead and start more work on the buildings and then get back to you. Here we have the two buildings on the side. Now before we get into those, just want to let you know a haul did come in. I did end up getting all of the curved bricks, which I ended up kind of adding throughout the top of the railing build. But anyways, now let's go ahead and move on to the two side buildings. On the far back, that is the Spider Arms Hostel. That is where Ahsoka and Master Sunube go to capture the pickpocket in, I believe, season 2. And then the building over here, this is the warehouse where Fives dies. So that was definitely a pretty sad scene in the Clone Wars. Have to include that in this mock, and that is what this building here is. Let's go ahead and take a closer look. Starting off in the very back, we have the Spider Arms Hostel. Now again, I'll have pictures on the screen for comparison. Now that building was quite unique just because of the fact that, for one, it did have kind of these dark blue highlights here in the very front. And then second, the windows were actually this kind of lavender magenta color, and they had a bit of a nice unique design. And that really kind of breaks up the buildings as a whole, so it's just not plain gray. Adding this kind of brighter lavender, these blues, the kind of neon greens, really does kind of break up the build as a whole. For the most part, I'm pretty satisfied by it. Again, the window design isn't 100% accurate, as those are kind of more pointed kind of designs, but I think this does look quite nice. And next to it, we have the warehouse where Fives dies. Now, it was again a very sad scene in the Clone Wars. As I said, I had to include it in this mock. Now, this building isn't exactly really what the building in Universe looked like. That building was a larger warehouse, again, on the very bottom levels of Coruscant. And kind of the reason I didn't make it that design was that was a very large building, and for that I would have to actually take up the space of both of these buildings combined to make that size of a warehouse. And I was limited on space. Again, I didn't want to add that warehouse to the top floor. I didn't want to add the Spider Arms Hostel on the top floor because I felt like that was definitely a bit more of a shady kind of establishment that had to go kind of on the lower levels. So I really didn't have space to include such a large warehouse. And again, the only other spot I could have thought about including it would be on the first floor where the entrance is. But again, there I don't want to include that because we have the actual entrance into Coruscant there instead. I did have to settle for a kind of makeshift warehouse, kind of using kind of my own designs. And here's we have a look at it. I have seen this kind of technique with the curved tile also actually used in Bill's Bricks kind of Coruscant vignette. Really absolutely love that design, so I had to include it here. We got some nice kind of detailing. We got some of these unique kind of scaffolding kind of support pieces. And then in the center, I do have kind of some of the grill pieces in these curved arches. It is definitely supposed to look like an industrial warehouse, kind of rough, and I think it could turn out pretty well. Now, I will probably be adding a couple of these rope pieces, some chains, wires. Basically, I'll be adding some chains and ropes to really all the buildings on the second floor just to give them a bit more of a rough look. But again, these are just the facades before that detailing and greebling is added. And here we have a look at the interiors. Now, all buildings, at least 90% of the buildings in this mock, will have interiors with Easter eggs from kind of where these buildings were featured. Since all buildings on the second floor are exactly inspired slash identical to ones you see in Clone Wars or the films, I will be having Easter eggs with kind of the characters that were there at those times. Here we have a look at the back of these. Again, the Spider Arms Hostel, it's pretty plain. I'm actually not sure if I'm going to make it interior for this yet, just because the way the window was made, I can't really cover that up. So for the most part, I may not even make a at least second floor interior and just make a small vignette in the first floor with kind of Ahsoka kind of talking to the receptionist. Then we have a look at the warehouse. Now this building actually is just one floor and it's actually quite empty. So this will be having an interior. I did actually end up doing some wall detailing, adding more of those scaffolding pieces. And again, here's just a rough look at what I'm thinking. So the floor will be kind of tiled or a mixture of tile and plate to give it a bit of a rough look. And then inside it, we're going to have, of course, Five's death scene. So I just made a bit of a brief, rough look at what that would look like. You got, of course, Fives and Anakin and Rex. Again, I don't know if there are any pieces I can use to make kind of a ray shield type of design. But if not, I'll just leave them standing. And then I'll have some crates around them. So again, a very sad, emotional scene. All right, and lastly, to finish off the second floor, we have the elevator. Now, I did increase the height of the elevator by about 3 of those trans clear cylinder parts, about 18 studs in length. And now it is pretty much flush to the edge of the second floor, and that is actually where I'm going to end the elevator. We're going to have a third floor, of course, on top of this. However, I do not plan to extend the elevator up to that. I'm just going to end it right here at the second floor. And because the top floor, that's where I'm going to have kind of some of the surface level buildings. This entire section up top here, this will actually probably be where I will include a bit of another open air market, like where you see C3PO and R2D2 go right before they go into that droid spa. And the droid spa will probably be in this corner on the third floor. Because of that, I'm not going to be including a elevator kind of on that top floor. It looks quite nice, so I did increase the size. I did add 2 more of those billboards, which you kind of see right over there. And other than that, again, it's quite simple. I did kind of end up also finishing off this corner, added 1 more of those brick built signs. That one says bar. Have a mix of those brick built signs as well as the kind of decal custom ones as well. So just mixing those up really does add a bit more to it. And then lastly, just some small pipe detailing here on the corner. And then I did end up actually going ahead and kind of changing up the interior elevator. So originally I did have one elevator kind of in the middle and the other one on the ground floor, which was this one here. I did ended up changing that. So now I have this one also kind of in the middle. And I think that looks quite nice. But that is a look at the elevator section, and that's actually going to do it. So the entire second floor, as you can see, is complete. And overall, it looks quite nice. And now we're going to go ahead and add the kind of support structure and then the third floor. So super exciting. And let's go ahead and jump right into it. And welcome back. I've gone ahead and pretty much worked on the third floor. Again, I use the same technique as the second, where I have kind of a layer of plate, 1 layer of brick, and another layer of plate to give that sandwich technique. In between the layers, we have kind of a bunch of Technic brick and pins to kind of give it some nice kind of stability here. And on top, again, we have the 6x16 plates, which add to stability. Now, here's how it looks. Now, I'm decently happy with it. The only main problem is, while again it is 16 plates, so that kind of gives the 10 stud wide building with the 6 stud walkway, which is same as the second floor. But the only problem is I feel like it is just sticking way too much out from the building. So there's a 6 stud gap. Now, do you guys think that's too much? The walkway just sticks out too much? Because if you look on, the problem with the first floor was all the buildings were 16 studs, and then I had to decrease it to 10 studs to get the gap, to get a large enough walkway. But it did kind of look nice when only 4 studs worth of the walkway kind of stuck out over the edge. But here it's 6, so it just looks so much more, even though it is still at the same level with regards to the walkway. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think it looks all right having the 6 studs? Actually even made a section come out 1 stud extra, but still, I feel like it just sticks out way too much compared to the previous floor. Now, one thing I could do is leave it like this, or I can decrease this by 1 or 2 studs and then decrease the building by 1 or 2 studs. So it will look a bit odd from the side where it goes up, decrease 2 studs, goes up, then decreases 1 to 2 studs and goes up. But then again, it won't stick out too much. And if you were to decrease it by 1 stud, I mean, you can't really tell a true difference that the walkways are not aligned. So again, let me know what you guys think. Do you think I should keep it 6 studs sticking out, or should I make this smaller and have it stick out less and then maybe shrink the building size a bit? But let me know what you guys think. And actually, because that's a bit of a big decision and I just want to wait for what you guys have to think about it, I'm going to go ahead and end the segment off. Here's kind of a look. We got the entire second floor done and it's looking really nice along with the elevators. But now we're going to go ahead and end the segment off after one more thing. Alright, and finally, since this episode will be coming out on May the 4th, which is Star Wars Day, but also the premiere of the Bad Batch TV show, I thought I'd throw my Bad Batch figures here into the mock. Now, these are custom printed ones from AV Figures, and I thought I'd just throw them in there since we do know that at some point they will be on Coruscant. And we got, of course, Wrecker, Tech, Crosshair, Echo, and Hunter. And then also, a bit of a sneak peek here. This is my LEGO Bad Batch Shuttle mock. Now, I will be having a full review on it coming out very soon, actually, probably within the next week, but I thought I'd just do a sneak peek of that mock as well. And there is a look at Coruscant. And that's going to do it for this episode of Building Coruscant in LEGO. We got a lot of work done. We were able to get the second floor buildings complete, and we also started work on that third floor. Now, again, this episode was delayed by about a couple weeks, but that was since I had college and finals. But now that it is summer, I'm actually graduated, so I will definitely have a lot of time this summer to work on the mock, and now the mock episodes should be coming out back to kind of the regular schedule. Now, this one came out Tuesday, May 4th. I will actually not be having one this Friday. I might actually be releasing the Bad Batch Shuttle mock video sometime this upcoming week, and we're going to push the next Coruscant episode to the week after, Friday or Saturday. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you guys thought about it down in the comments below. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos coming very soon. If you enjoyed this video, a thumbs up would be great. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for more videos coming very soon. And I'll see you all next time.